All right, helping a friend out with a 2016 Kia Soul. Of course, this is the ones that are easy to steal, and this one was stolen. And I just picked it up from the body shop yesterday. Of course, it's out of gas, the battery's dead, everything else. But I'm just trying to get it fixed for the person that owns it so they can stop borrowing vehicles. Kia told them, which key? That one works. Kia told them it needed 4 injectors and a new motor. Give me a second. Let me plug in the old scanner and turn the key on. I have no idea where the OBD2 plug is on these. Many moons ago, I worked on Kias. That was right when the GDI came out. Oh, God. Too tall for this car. Oh. Okay, so the fuse box is where of course the sun's right in my eyes, right where the OBD2 thing is. Okay. I'm pretty sure they're misfire codes, but let's see what it says. Oh, of course, the sun. Let me shut the door so I can actually see this. So, needs gas. It has 1 of 12 codes. Let's see if I can pick this up with my phone. P0300, P0301, which is cylinder 1, P0562. At the top of my head, I don't know what that code is, so I'll look it up. P0303, so cylinder 3 misfire. P0300 again, random cylinder misfire. P0301, 303, P0302. P0263, I can't remember off the top of my head. Random misfire again, random misfire cylinder 1, random misfire cylinder 3. Okay, so now I got those. I'm going to go ahead and just clear these out. All right. Supposedly, I think someone's already thrown coil packs and spark plugs at this. So what I'm going to do is do a compression check first. The car actually runs. I did drive it onto the trailer yesterday to get it here. But it's got 130,000 miles on it. Just from my little bit of research, seems like about 100,000 miles when these injectors start giving you issues. And for those that don't know, this is a direct injection engine. So that means the injector fires the fuel directly into the combustion chamber, unlike older vehicles where the injectors would fire the fuel before the valve and then it would enter the combustion chamber. 2 issues with that is you get a lot of carbon buildup on the intake valves because now you don't have fuel keeping the valves clean. And then you have combustion pressure forcing its way back into the injector. And then if you have any oil usage, any carbon buildup, anything, it gets You have carbon buildup on the valves, and you have carbon buildup in injectors, which makes injectors not work correctly. I did some research. You can, if you want to, put brand new. Now, there's a couple different style valves, or injectors for these engines. I'm not sure which one this has. I will add that to whatever parts, how many parts this is. But I spoke with a place that actually has a special machine to clean these style injectors. And I'm going to send them to him, have him clean them and tell me if they're good or not. And then if it's whatever style. Some of them have seals. Some of them have some other like crush washers. So I'll cover that when I get them out. But first thing I do is do the compression check. If that looks good, next thing I do is I pull the intake air box, the high pressure fuel line from the high pressure fuel pump that's on the motor, and then pull the fuel rail and pull all the injectors out. So let me get busy with that. Okay, so I was getting it apart to do a compression test, and I was start pulling some stuff off just to check everything. And now the one time I want sunlight, I got to block it with the camera. But you can kind of, God, the hair's getting my mouth. Throttle body is really dirty. The air box is a sandbox. I pulled the air filter out, and it definitely needed to be replaced a while ago. Check this out. There is half a bush in here, so I'm sure that helps with it running good. But all the plugs, and the only plug that actually looked decent, now these were just replaced recently, is number 3. Oops, let me get it on camera there. Let me zoom out, because of course I'm sure it's focused on something else. Number 1's a little wet. Hopefully what I'll do is I'll put it in a good cylinder and it'll clean up, because these things are like $20 a damn piece. But also, I wanted to do a compression test. Now I got to go buy a tool. These spark plugs are 12 millimeter. For the longest time, most cars use either a 14 or an 18 millimeter plug. And of course my gauge won't screw in because these are smaller. Let me see if I can get it on camera. Probably not, but so these are 2 millimeters smaller than everything that's been made for like the last 30 years. So let me go buy another tool and do a compression test on this thing. Alright, since this needs a smaller than normal thing for the compression test, O'Reilly's had this highfalutin gauge. There's a part number, and it has 10, which I don't even want to know what that fits, and the 12 millimeter adapter I need for this. So let me wheel my tools back out and do a compression test finally. So after doing a compression test, number 1 is really low. I took pictures of all of them. The rest are like dead on matching each other. So when I send the injectors out, I will pull the cylinder head and try to figure out what is causing our loss of compression. All right, got the injectors out. You got to, of course, remove the intake manifold, unplug everything. The NOx sensor harness and the battery to the alternator harness bolts to the intake, so you got to take that off. I think the throttle body's got water running through it. I don't know. But, yeah. So I just unbolted it and left it for now, even though I got to pull the head off. Throttle body is completely dirty. As usual, I can't get good light in there. I can see carbon on the valves. Well, when it gets darker out, I'll come out here and video that. I can turn the light on, and there's the sun, of course, the sun. Anyways, here's the fuel rail. There's the insulator to make, because these things are extremely noisy when they're firing. So they do everything they can to make them quieter. This is number one. Nice, oily, wet one. And as you can see, there's a bunch of carbon buildup and everything else on those. I got to pull these out of the fuel rail and then send them off to this guy in Washington to flow them and clean them. While that's gone, I've got to get the head off and figure out why we have a compression issue. Hopefully it's in the head, so I don't have to take the oil pan off, but we will see, and I will go from there.